This video is brought to you by Raycon. Welcome back, everybody, to our very special, very early, very recap review Easter eggs.
Very spoilery, so if you haven't watched it yet, don't listen to this or look at the thumbnail because it's so spoilery. Don't scroll past it on YouTube. It's too late. You've done it already. You've been spoiled.
Look at that circle, probably.
Oh my god!
Look at that circle, probably. Okay, guess what, Mason? This episode confirmed a number of things to me, but I just want to say these go up early, the early version at bigsandwich.co, along with our podcast, The Weekly Planet. It's like a Patreon tier, isn't it, Mason?
That's right.
There's movie commentaries. So many Marvel movie commentaries.
There's bonus podcasts.
That's right. And maybe you're leaving a like on this video. Maybe that's up there too. I also want to mention in this episode that we're going to be looking at the variations on Loki, the apocalypses, all spoilers, that the other Loki is hiding in, the Timekeepers. I want to talk about Lady Loki. I want to talk about some cameos that might be coming up.
Excuse me, Lady what?
That's right. And maybe some Steve Rogers stuff that I've got some
Excuse me, Steve what?
Some hard evidence for, and some other bits and pieces that I do want to get into.
And then rampant speculation?
Yeah, of course.
That'll be interwoven
definitely.
through the video. Terrific.
But this episode for me, Mason, episode 2 confirmed the TVA need long-range weapons. Not just a bomb that you set down and walk away in a stick. Mm-hmm. You need something else, something in between those two things.
A regular human gun.
A whip.
Oh, yeah, no, a whip is good.
Not even a time whip, just a whip. Just an old-fashioned whip.
Yeah.
Get back. Get back in your time cell.
Yeah. A time slingshot.
Yeah.
You hit somebody with a time slingshot and you go back in time to when children played with slingshots.
Wow.
That's right. And then all the kids pelt you with regular slingshots to death. But this episode was all about huge revelations.
Yes.
Number one revelation, obviously, is that Agent Mobius loves jet skis.
Oh, my God.
So he's never been on a jet ski.
No.
But he loves them.
Chekhov's jet ski.
I swear to God, James, if the producer, we've talked about on WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, all the things that that damn well better happen. The fans demand it, but you know what? Get rid of them all. The producers of Loki.
Yes.
If you do not put Agent Mobius just careening across a lake or a river or an ocean in a
time
jet ski.
river, doesn't matter.
Fine, great, terrific. Just have him careening across the time stream like a big skipping stone, and such as you might put in a slingshot.
And he's in his brown suit.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
awesome florally board shorts.
Oh my God! I also should mention this episode
with some flowers in his mustache.
That's right. So it seems as though Loki's settled right in at the start, isn't he?
That's right.
He's got a desk. He's just doing some work. The clock has a consciousness, I think.
Minutes, yeah, she does, apparently.
Voice of Tara Strong, by the way.
Oh, who's done Harley Quinn and most characters. If you've watched a DC animated thing in the last decade, she's been in it.
And if not longer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly it. One of my favourite bits in this episode was, though, we did a video a few weeks back on the variations on Loki that we might see in this series, but then we got a glimpse at the kind of Lokis that have come through the TVA before.
Yeah.
We saw a blue one, which is presumably one that kept the frost giant aesthetic.
Blue Loki.
That's
sure,
right,
yep.
Yeah. We got some kind of athlete where he's in skin tight outfit holding a trophy.
We got one that was very akin to Mr. Hyde from the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, just some sort of an enormous hulking monster.
I thought that was that's a gamma radiation Loki, right?
That'll do it,
I assume. Sure. There's one that looks kind of like a demon goat creature. There's a barbarian. I'm hoping though we actually see a lot of these up close. Do you know what I mean? Or not even those in particular, but I'd love to see just some other variations, here and there, other than the few that we've seen as of so far. But speaking of one of the ones we've seen so far, so this variation on Loki that they've been chasing has been hiding in various apocalypses.
Yes.
Apocali.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. But they went with apocalypses and none of the nerds in the TVA corrected them. So I guess it's apocalypses.
I guess it is, yeah. So it seems as if also when you tuck yourself into these pockets of time, then you can do anything
just
because
go nuts.
It's all inevitable. He also mentioned that he could go back to the destruction of Asgard during Ragnarok and push the Hulk off the Rainbow Bridge, and that wouldn't affect anything. But I feel like something like that would, because the way that played out, it was Thor that eventually went, okay, the idea is now we're going to release the big fire demon monster.
Yes, right.
And I think if you took it that far, that would then circumvent that apocalypse at that particular point in time, maybe.
Are you saying that at this point Loki is not 100% an expert on the functions of the time stream that he says
he didn't even watch most of the videos, he
Whoa.
said. That's why he told us that.
Hey, here's something from last week that here's a tangent.
Sure.
So, you know how sometimes you watch an episode of a TV series and it's like previously on, and then they'll show like a character from like 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, obviously, okay, that character's going to feature
up.
in this episode or whatever. You think Coulson's coming back?
Why do you say that in particular?
Because he was in the last episode. That's all I'm saying. We saw the death of him.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like,
potentially.
Where'd you bring that guy up? Even though he's technically outside of this time stream now.
Well, we know from last video that there was a quote from one of the creators that was like, "There's just going to be some wild cameos in this."
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's absolutely the opportunity that he's going to come back, and that might tie into my Captain America kind of theory.
Oh, excellent, great.
That's coming down the line. We also saw that Loki finds out about Asgard just in a file. He's like, "Oh, that's bad news. That's bad news, I think."
And it says something like, no time stream variation detected. So obviously that was always supposed to happen. So
I also think we're going to go to that specific event.
Oh,
because I think we see some Odin throne stuff maybe in the trailers. So I think we're definitely going to get Ragnarok stuff. They've been talking about it enough where we'll see it, right?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that would be cool. What do you think about visiting Pompeii 79 AD, like in the movie Pompeii with Kit Harington? Remember that?
Nope, nobody does.
It was like, this place is going to volcano any second.
No, you're making this
There's
all
multiple volcani.
Nobody's ever seen this movie that you're talking about.
It's a real movie. That's what he's yelling in the movie. I swear to God. It's real. You're watching it. It's real. It seems also that Loki's ultimate goal is to get an audience with the Timekeepers.
Yeah.
Or as he says later, he just wants to take over the TVA.
Here's another bit of rampant speculation.
Sure.
Although just before we get to that, the assumption there is that Loki shows up in Pompeii and that doesn't affect anything.
Yeah.
Maybe one guy got out. You don't know yet.
That's true, yeah.
But I was going to say, speaking of the Timekeepers, the head of the TVA is all like, the Timekeepers are keeping a very close eye on this whole thing and they're working very hard behind the scenes. Do you think maybe they're dead already?
Potentially.
Right?
Yeah.
Or they're captured somewhere. Maybe this lady.
Or they don't exist.
They don't exist at all. Maybe it's, again, like it's a Wizard of Oz situation. But maybe this lady is like, she's got her own goals there.
Yeah. There might be a bit at the end where she's floating in the sky and she's like, ultimate power.
Of course, yeah.
They often do that at the end, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. They've already got the Adobe After Effects little plugins. They've set them up. They all set them up already for WandaVision. Yeah, they just got to put some tracking dots in her face and then just cut and paste her in. And
Bob's your uncle.
Change the color of the lasers. Probably green lasers because time
green
travel.
lasers.
Yeah.
A lot of people have also mentioned that one of them looks a lot like Kang, and we are getting Kang, the Conqueror, coming up in Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's entirely possible that he's in this as well.
Do you think it's just Kang the Conqueror, but he's in one of those mirrors in a like a changing room where you can see all 3 sides of you?
Okay, yeah, sure, why not?
That's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
I love it. I love it, quite frankly. Yeah. So do you think, though, it's odd that, for one, Owen Wilson hasn't met them, which lends to your theory, and everybody seems to blindly go along with it. But I also think Loki tells other Loki that his goal is to, overtake everything and rule the time stream. But I don't really think he wants that. It seems like a lot of the time these kind of quests for glory and world domination, he doesn't really, he's got a half-assing a lot of these.
He really is.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, as Coulson said back in the Avengers, you lack
conviction. Yeah.
Maybe that's what this series is all about. He's finally going to find his passion.
Yeah.
Through the course of saving the universe, and maybe it'll be Renaissance fair reenactments. Maybe that's what it'll be.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe this episode sort of sparked that passion for him.
Exactly. So speaking of apocalypses, apocalypti now, that's what this segment's called. They visit Alabama in the year 2050, and it's a Roxon Mall. Roxon is, of course, we first saw them in live action in the first Iron Man.
Yeah, they're sort of a rival company to Stark Industries. They're kind of like into energy and oil drilling and tech.
Yeah, it's like AIM and Hydra and all these. They're all bad news.
But now they've become Roxcart, which is kind of like an Amazon.
Yeah.
All-encompassing. It's a corporate town. A little bit of social commentary. They're like, do you notice that? They're like, well, we had this environmental disaster in 2048 and this double environmental disaster in 2049.
Double up.
And here we are, and the world's ending in 2050, and everybody lives in this shopping mall, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. It was it showed the disconnect of the TVA where there's some of them that are just like Don't even talk to these people. They're basically ghosts. It doesn't matter at this point.
Well, I mean, in the last episode, Casey was like, who's one of the TVA drones, was like, "What's a fish?" So, like, some of them are clearly they're big picture people, not really small picture people.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Do you think maybe if they're turning up to these events, they should maybe be more equipped? Because
again, you're talking about these long range.
Well, it's not even that. Like, they stick out. Like, immediately, it's like, what's this? I mean, nobody seems to stop them normally.
I see what you're saying. Maybe they should have disguises. Maybe
Something.
they should have hologram generators.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have that weird face-changing mesh that, the
They
MCU guys have a lot of the time.
They seem mostly like SWAT, though, right?
Yeah, they are kind of SWAT, and I think they are sort of welded into the idea of, like, we get in, we bust some heads, we put down a reset charge, and then we leave, so they don't have to worry about
that's
that
true,
kind of
isn't
stuff.
it?
You know?
And I think now that that's kind of being turned against them, their tactics of just running in and hitting someone with a bat and then leaving might not be as effective. So, but we do meet, for lack of a better word, Lady Loki, who doesn't like being called Loki also, which, maybe it's not Loki. I think it probably is, but it could be an enchantress or something else going on.
Sure,
It's probably a Loki. But also, she's not interested in anything the TVA are doing in terms of taking everything over. So her goal isn't aligned with regular Loki.
No.
She's got something else going on. What do you think that might be?
Well, the TVA, obviously, their goal is to prune the sacred timeline, get rid of all those extra little saplings that are coming off the side there.
Sure.
But it seems her goal was to acquire as many of those reset charges so she could just
blitz.
Just blitz that timeline. She's creating so many alternate branches, but why? We don't know yet.
Do you think, though, with all these different splitting and variations on timelines, that it is ultimately a bad thing? Because they're saying if it reaches a certain point, the universe collapses, but I don't know if it actually does. I think there could just be multiple branching timelines and it just keeps
Again, I think,
going.
The Timekeepers or whoever are in control of the TVA, I think they perhaps want to just keep the timeline as simple as possible so they maintain control of it. Because if you create a branching timeline that has perhaps a TVA that is not that is in opposition to this one, then maybe there's some trouble. But if you just keep it simple, you get less opposition. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Keep it simple, stupid.
That's right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Also, we know that one of the TVA gave away where the Timekeepers are. She got brainwashed or whatever happened to her, and she wasn't in a good way when they found her. And also, we found out this variation on Loki can jump its consciousness from person to person,
or whatever is happening,
or whatever is happening there.
It seems she's got the supervillain power of doing whatever she kind of needs to do.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yep, it's very handy.
Come in handy at the end with that.
I bet Loki wishes he still had that.
That's right.
Because when he was a bad guy, he could do pretty much whatever.
Maybe at the end in the sky battle, he'll be able to use it.
Maybe
they're all flying around each other in a sky battle. Yeah. But he also follows her through the time portal that she makes.
Yeah,
she must have left that open intentionally.
Seems that way. Yeah,
I don't think she's bad. I think this is something else. I don't think she's an ultimate villain because she could have killed them all if she wanted to.
That's true.
She could storm in and kill everybody in the TVA, presumably. She knows how it works and where everybody is. I'm not saying she's not doing damage, but I just don't think that. I think there's a greater villain, as there normally is.
Whoa.
As there sometimes is.
As we always speculate, there will be.
Do you think she intended Loki to follow her, though?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because the door was open just long enough for him to get through, and then it was immediately closed. So
exactly.
Yes, I think there's going to be a lot of I think there's going to be a big time chat episode next week. I think it's big time chat time next time.
Big time chat time.
Next time.
Name of the episode?
Yep.
Great. Speaking of big time chat time, what's coming up? Richard E. Grant is in this series, allegedly.
Oh.
Michael Waldron, who's the head writer on this, said. So I think everybody should just watch and find out. This is in terms of what he's going to be.
Do you think he's going to be the voice of the jet ski?
Knight
Rider style.
It's me. I was the Scarlet Pimpernel.
That's right.
And that show, I don't know, you probably didn't say it. It was a British thing. But come on. Oh, no, you're British. Tom Hiddleston. Let's go.
Was I in the Spice Girls movie? I can't remember.
I was. I
Nice.
remember.
I'm a jet ski with the power of the Spice Girls manager.
So like Loki himself, we really wanted the experience of watching the show to kind of feel unexpected and constantly shape-shifting. I think he's going to turn up as like an old King Loki or either a super powerful Loki from the future or a super sad Loki from the future.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to get.
Hey, speaking of, what's interesting about this episode, we go to the future.
Yeah.
First time, I think.
But like which timeline? Like, I mean, I know it's this timeline,
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
is that what 2050 is going to look like?
Well, that is the big question. But I guess my point is, have we gone to the future in other Marvel stuff?
That's a really good point. And no, I don't think so. Maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Maybe it's the S.H.I.E.L.D., sure.
Maybe Daredevil set in the future.
Yeah, maybe it is. It's true.
I don't know. The year is 2400. 2400? Wow.
right, yeah.
That's really far. That's
Yeah.
too far.
Yep. Daredevil's teaming up with Buck Rogers. You ever seen a blind man on a jetpack? You're gonna.
Beep, beep, beep. Whoop. You obviously recognize that very distinct sound. It's the Raycon ad spot alert. Raycon, what they're doing, they're disrupting the electronics industry by making great sound for everyone. Their wireless earbuds start at half the price of other premium audio brands. I also love that Raycon offer their wireless earbuds in a range of fun colors and patterns, with a variety of fit options and no dangling wires or stems. The company was co-founded by Ray J with celebrities like Snoop Dogg. They're obsessed with Raycons, and Raycons also have a 45-day free return policy, which is great because if you're not entirely happy with your purchase, that option is there. It's on the table for you. Raycon earbuds give you 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design for a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. I'll tell you this much, these are the perfect gift for others or yourself. I use them for working out. I use them around the house. I'm using them if I'm taking the dog for a stroll. If I'm doing a big karate kick, you better believe I've got my Raycons in. And the battery life, my goodness, incredible. What you can actually do if you're interested is click on the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. On with the video. So we got a few comments in regards to this, quite a lot actually. I've got one here from BioFan813 who said, love seeing Peggy Carter again, glad she's still around. Because in the background of the first episode, and we, I guess, couldn't really see this because we had a screener and it's pretty low res.
Quite blurry, yeah.
I still would have seen it, but
don't blame them. It's a poor tradesman that blames his tools, James.
That's true. So a lot of people have pointed out that someone who looks a lot, but maybe not necessarily.
Somewhat like Peggy Carter, but also a pretty strikingly similar haircut.
Yes, but also in the TVA, they all look kind of timeless and office worky.
There it is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So who really knows? I do have a bit of a theory of what way this could kind of go.
Okay.
So they haven't really touched on what happened to Steve Rogers when he was returning the Time Stone.
So what you're thinking is... He goes
conjugal
back,
visit, yes.
He goes back in time to be with Peggy, and then the TVA show up and he's like, "You're on your own, baby," and he just leaves. And then she gets arrested.
That would be pretty funny if he finally gets back to Peggy and then they arrest him. They put him in time prison. But so of all the people who have traveled through time, he's probably done the most of it, and he's probably also messed up the most stuff. He has interacted with himself.
Yep.
He told himself that Bucky was alive. He returned all the Infinity Stones, and then he went back to the late 40s, early 50s to live the remainder of his life in a parallel universe. So if anybody's going to be arrested for time crimes, it's him.
Loki,
yes. But also, they might not care about that if it has nothing to do with their ultimate goals at the TVA. Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't affect them, they're like, let him live out his life. Who cares?
Look, James, I don't want to cast aspersions on the TVA, but I think perhaps a lot of the time what is quote-unquote meant to happen in the sacred timeline is just stuff they can't be bothered dealing with.
You might be right.
They're like, Steve Rogers did what?
Yeah.
He traveled how many times? And now he's living in a just forget it. I can't be bothered. Let's just say it's happening in the sacred timeline. Don't worry about it.
Forget it, yeah. So, does that mean also they trimmed, the alternate timelines that they made in Endgame? Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Or did Steve Rogers fix them
I think
ultimately?
he fixed them,
because that was the plan at least, wasn't it? But there's a pen that we see one of the heads of the TVA has.
Franklin Roosevelt High School. Whose high school is that, I wondered?
Well, here's the thing. He was president during the World War II.
Oh, the World War II.
Right. But it really could be anybody born since then. It could be like Michael Douglas's Ant-Man. It could be a nod to Peggy Carter. It could be a nod to Steve Rogers because it's a World War II thing.
Roosevelt formed the SSR, which in this universe led to the creation of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly.
So maybe that's it.
He's had a lot of interactions with, various people across time, indirectly. But the head writer, Michael Waldron, also said in relation to whether Captain America's showing up, I don't think I can answer that. I think maybe just keep watching. So I'm not saying
I will not. I want answers now.
I'm not saying that him specifically is going to turn up, but I think we're going to get some answers in regards to Captain America's time travel and maybe Peggy Carter and maybe early days of S.H.I.E.L.D. and maybe Coulson.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but I just think that's
Are
interesting.
you saying Coulson's trapped in the spirit of that pen?
Yeah, why not?
Nice.
Why not?
Nice.
Clickety clack and he's out. Oh, he tumbles out. Like a genie.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, he must get out eventually because he turns up to give the shield back. He's
true.
like, do you want to talk about all your adventures? And he's like, absolutely not. Good God, I was in time prison. Fucking hell. Yeah. A couple more things. It has been confirmed by director Kate Herron, who is directing every single episode of this show.
Go on.
In regards to Mephisto showing up.
Yeah.
Because we saw the stained glass window and we talked about
yeah.
it. So she said, it's honestly just a super weird coincidence. Like, it's genuinely a reference to Loki, the horns. Yep, he was cast out of heaven. And that's what's referenced to. I did see all the stuff about that online. I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. But no, it's more relevant to the themes of our show and not a nod to that character. So Mephisto go? No. Mephisto? No, Mason.
Very nice.
That's our catchphrase here. Mephisto no. I got one more bit of information, okay?
Just one more bit of information?
Yeah.
Great.
This is it. This is the last thing in my brain.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shut down for the rest of the year.
That's the spirit.
This is an interview with Tom Hiddleston by Theories Bite on TikTok, right? A platform.
None of that makes any sense to me.
You don't need to worry about that. I've done the referencing. People can figure it out, okay? This is in regards to what's coming up in future episodes. I think episode 4 or 5, the two together, the whole series takes off in a direction that I certainly didn't see coming when I read it. I'm really excited for the audience to see it. So that's where we just expand into new territory. So it seems like next week, like you mentioned, might be a bit of a time chat.
We can skip it. We can skip episode 3. Great.
Then 4 and 5, everything goes off. And then in episode 6, there's a big battle in the sky and then they wrap everything up.
Terrific.
Yep. And then they put a bow on it so none of it matters. That's what I think.
But it's about the journey, not the destination.
No, I think this is going to...
The destination's to the status quo again.
No, I think this one, of all the series we've seen so far, will have future ramifications, and I think it's going to lead into multiverse stuff, if not What If, but Doctor Strange 2, Spider-Man, other stuff that's coming up, probably Kang. I don't really know. Anyways, this has been this. We did it.
You're saying you don't really know, James.
Not only do I not know Mason, I will never know.
Whoa!
I'll watch this show and it's just gone.
Wow.
It's just gone from my consciousness.
Whoa.
Yeah. But look, we do this here every week. Collings edits these together at an absolute cracking pace.
Sometimes we even do it when there aren't shows running.
Exactly.
We just recap nothing.
Yep.
Those don't get published.
No. But they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're on bigsandwich.co though. It's just us recapping, just us staring into space. Just us staring at the Disney Plus logo.
Yeah. Audio only.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like we mentioned up top, there's a bunch of stuff there, movie commentaries, bonus podcasts. If you do want to check it out, we'll be back next week. If you do have theories, speculation, something you want us to put in a red circle, let us know.
We'll put it in a red circle.
You better believe it. You better.
Just the all red circle episode. Just a long list of things.
Infinite red circles on the thumbnail.
Oh my God, yes please.
Yeah. So I'm at Mr. Sunday Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter.
Hit us up if you want. And thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week for more rampant speculation and spoilers.
Should we, because your catchphrase is grab that gem, but now the gems are useless.
Oh, yeah.
Should we be grabbing a different thing? Grab a jet ski? Grab Kang by the face?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll think about it.
We'll think about it. Yeah.
Okay, goodbye.